Yeah. And you mentioned earlier in your chapter on communication, man, for the restaurant industry, I haven't seen a book that does as good as a job really mapping out how to communicate in the restaurant industry. I don't want to give your book away, but what are some of the biggest lessons? What are some of the biggest lessons on communication that you want to share with us today?
Clearly speaking is a big one. Knowing what you want the goal of your conversation to be.
The end in mind.
Not saying what you want to say, but saying what needs to be said for your goal to be accomplished.
Yeah.
And giving up on being right. Being right matters nothing. Nothing at all.
Why?
Because if you're right, like, hey, there's this rule that we made a year ago that hasn't been enforced, but I'm right if I call them out on that and really make a stink of it.
Yeah, and then the conversation becomes about who's right and not about whatever the problem, fixing the problem, right, together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Profit, results, not effort. I can say, hey, great effort, but I need results. I don't care if, I did everything right. Obviously, you didn't.
Yeah.
Or
so when you say starting with the end in mind, or understanding why you're having the conversation, what I like about that, and you kind of allude to this in the book, is that the mentality you need to have when communicating is we're in this together, and we need to figure out how to get there. And once you agree that this is the point, this is why we're communicating, to figure that out, now your effort goes collectively into getting there together. Versus what you're saying, it's not about who's right or wrong, but it's like what's the best.
exactly. If someone's common issue, someone's late.
Yeah.
So you're going to address this person. You're going to really just shove their face in the poop that they're late.
Yeah.
You're late. You're late again. You think we don't have rules here? You think that this doesn't matter? You think that I'm going to be disrespected on a daily basis by you? You're saying everything you want to say in that horrible example of a person just venting to an employee, which should never be done. Or, hey, you're late. What happened? Why are you late?
Okay?
Then, if you're okay, to the end of still not productive conversation, just an interrogation. Just, hey, you were late. Is that acceptable? Okay, are you going to do this again? What are you going to do different? What happens when you're late? Well, when I'm late, then yeah, you're right. The staff isn't ready.
This type of communication.
That's Socratic method.
Yes.
The Socratic method is just asking them questions for them to come to the realization, and you're working with them the whole time for them to come to their own realization, and then when they get to their own realization, it's theirs. They own it.
Yes.
They weren't just talked down to and took their beating, and maybe they heard the beating, maybe they didn't hear the beating, and you're going back to an adversarial relationship.
Yeah, I love that approach of communicating. You know the answer, but the goal isn't to tell them to. The goal is to help them figure out how to get to the answer on their own, to steer them. But when they come there on their own, like you're saying, they're much more likely, because now they're saying it. It's they're making the rule in a way, which it makes it much more palatable and digestible. People are more likely to do it when they came to that destination, right?
Yes.